So you mentioned you don't love the way the club's coming back, okay, and it gets a little bit inside, right? So when we see people like myself who get that club coming back too much inside, we tend to see shots on the hosel in some way, okay? And the first one that you shanked, you made a move when you took that club away, your hands got the club going. Oh, did it? Okay. But I could see standing back there that rather than your arms staying under your shoulders, it was a very noticeable turning over of the hands. And then it was funny, then that was the one that caught the hosel. So let's break it down a little bit more. So right here, getting started on this one is pretty good. And then as you get parallel to the ground, it's a little bit inside. Yes. So let me show you what we're talking about. This right here, right? Yeah. So that would be nice. Sure. Yes. Okay. So once you bring that club back a little bit inside, okay, take a look at Justin Rose on the right. Notice how his hands are almost right in front of his chest right here. He's in a really good position. He's in an efficient position to use good leverage. Well, when we start bringing it inside a little bit, we're on the road to getting the club more behind us and a little bit lower in our backswing. What I mean by that is as you start coming back here, the angle of the shaft's going to be a little bit flat, and your hands, you can see, are underneath your right shoulder, whereas Justin Rose has them, up there even with the point on his right shoulder. Okay, so he's just in a position where he's going to be able to make he's going to have a longer length of arc because he's in a position where he can more easily get all the way up here. Your flexibility is going to limit you from being able to do that. When I say you're flexible, I mean your body is just not going to be able to get the club back as far. So this position right here, as far as having speed and strength and all that, is good. What's not great is the swing plane is a little flat. So if you were to make your downswing on that exact plane and keep the club on that plane, you would miss the ball outside of the ball. Okay. Justin Rose, when he's in a similar spot, if I draw a target line for him, try to get it. And by the way, we're not going to get exact on this because I can't tell when his club is exactly perpendicular to the ground. But he's much closer to the low end of the club pointing at his target line. Okay. So if he were to make his swing on the way down without changing anything, he'd be in pretty good shape. Okay, so you're going to be making some adjustment to your swing plane to get back to the ball. And by the way, I'm not going to stand up here. I'm not like swing plane is everything. I'm not that. But in looking at what's going on, how they're moving the club, this looks like you're going to be changing your swing plane in your downswing. Okay. So notice how your club looks like it's going to come above the previous plane. Okay, let's see what happens coming through here if you get it under there somehow. Yep. So what's happening is better golfers have an innate understanding that they don't want that club swinging from out to in. It would be very easy to make your adjustment by just opening your shoulders, moving your hands out towards the ball and coming over the top and hitting pulls and slices. That would be a real easy move, and if you watch most people on the range up here, that's what they do. Better golfers don't do that. And so you're going to get your body out of the way and let that club come from the inside. Now you can see your swing plane here is on the money. Right? That is exactly where you want to be to hit a straight golf shot. Your club is considered on plane when the low end of the club points at the target line. A little moving pieces. So you're on plane when the low end of the club points to the target line, or when there is no low end, which is when the club is parallel to the ground, it's parallel to the target line. So you're ready to hit good straight shot. The trouble with it is you're needing the timing you talked about to do this. And you're also probably robbing yourself of efficiency, which is going to show up in a loss of distance. And as well as, believe it or not, you're probably going to come into this ball a little bit more shallow than a tour player will, and so it's going to be harder to make solid contact than if your club was coming truly back on a little bit better plane. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to switch to your face-on view. By the way, I went to college for this stuff, like a literal college, and when I was there, I didn't understand the stuff, even though a lot of it. So with us meeting the first time and I'm running through this in your golf swing, if something isn't matching up, it's my fault. Yeah, it's not your fault. Love the grip, by the way. So what we're going to look for is, so notice how you're, so you've got your left arm with a lot of extension here, a lot of good width of arc, right? But notice how it starts to get closer to your body as you go back. That's because the club is so low behind you. When you look at the tour players, you don't see that sort of like where their hands, they stay farther from their body all the time. It's because their club's up more in front of their chest instead of down low. Okay, now think, remember you were coming down underneath that previous plane that was a little bit flat, so your body's got to get out of the way. So see your right knee moving towards your left knee? You're getting out of the way of this club right now. So you're moving your body out of the way, and one of the downsides to that is a lot of times we see your body get a little bit ahead of where it should be, meaning your body is too far forward too soon, and then you have to wait for the club, and that manifests itself in a little bit of an early release. Okay, that's not bad. So you're doing a really good job with your swing plane that's just coming in from the wrong place. But you're doing a lot of other stuff really well. The average person here, the club head would be noticeably past their hands, and we would see a lot of fat shots, a lot of thin shots, a lot of very high shots when they're hit solid, and they're all 2 clubs shorter than their playing partners. You're doing a very good job of getting your hands ahead at impact. But I want to show you where we'd really love to see them. Is this making sense so far? I'm going to show another face-on view of Rory McIlroy. I'm going to get rid of those lines in front of you. So see how much higher his hands look here? And that's just because of the range of motion of your shoulder joint. If they're higher. Notice how now as he's moving forward like this, he's unwinding at the same time. It's synchronized a little bit better. And see how his hands are up on top of his left leg at impact, where yours are on your right leg at impact. And his hands are able to really still stay out in front of his chest throughout the entire course of his golf swing. So I can definitely see how when you're timing it, it's pretty good, right? So I would say a couple of little things. Obviously, we want to be able to get those hands higher coming back, and the way to do that is coming back more on plane. So the first thing you saw, if you had said, oh, I'm going to fix that, that would have led to probably really good things. Okay. The other thing, though, I want to talk about is at your setup. Let's use Justin Rose because he's built a lot like you. What we would love to see would be the shaft pointing right above the top of the hips, which would be your belt line, and have the shaft form a 90-degree angle through your torso. Okay. Now notice that Justin Rose here doesn't quite pull that 90-degree thing off completely. Okay. They're a little bit, so see, they look like they're close to your body, but you can see your hands are hanging straight down from your shoulders, if not reaching a little teeny bit, right? So looking at Justin Rose, you look kind of pretty close. I would love to see you a little bit farther back from the ball so you can get your hands hanging straight down. 90-degree angles anywhere we can get them are going to be good. Okay. Let me show you Adam Scott.
So is that going to be me, you think, stepping back a little bit, or is it going to be me standing a little bit taller?
A little bit of both. So Adam Scott has really like the prototypical setup. The reason I showed you Justin Rose was to show you he's more built like you. You know, Adam Scott's really tall, and you don't need perfection to play great. But I'll show you in setup-wise what is really close to perfection. Okay. So what he's got is he's got good posture. That is a neutral spine angle. That's the way your spine, if he stands straight up, his spine is going to have the exact same curves to it. That's perfect posture. Okay. He's got his arms hanging straight down from his shoulders. Okay? So if he had no golf club, you would see perfect posture, arms hanging straight down from his shoulders. As he sets up, he does a great job of getting that torso 90 degrees to the club, whatever club is in his hand, and that club goes right through his belt line. Okay? So here's the benefit of that. You mentioned that you have a little bit of down up in your golf swing. So what he's going to do is if he can maintain the angle of his upper body of his torso, which means if he stays, you know, kind of in here, right? And through impact, he's swinging that club 90 degrees to his setup. He can, if he stays in roughly the same place and just turns his shoulders back and turns them through, he's going to be in great shape. So let's watch him. And he's not going to be perfect, but he's going to be pretty good. See how he stays in that angle? Now watch what happens as he stays in the angle. Watch his club head on the way down. Watch where his club head. See, he's tracing literally the shaft line of his setup. So that's an example of if we could get everybody to set up just like Adam Scott, and he lines up and he knows where he's going and his grip is good, and he just practices and he just tries to hit the target, he's going to start to make adjustments, but every adjustment he makes to get better results is going to be more in line with a good golf swing. If someone's alignment is off, or they're taking the club back with a little too much of the hands or something like that, now there's a compensation that has to be changed. Let's see how you're doing with that. So the more that somebody has a setup where they don't have that 90-degree relationship between the club and their spine, the more they're going to be controlling what's happening with their hands to make it work. Or their body getting out of the way or something like that. So see where your club is? Does that make sense how you can catch the hosel? But your body would be in the way because of the way you're taking the club back. Does that totally make sense? Okay. And now you're using your hands and your body out there to hit the center of the club face. So you're probably, boy, if you had Adam Scott set up and takeaway, you wouldn't need as much skill. So it's the simple things. And it's practice. So let's go out there and work on the way you're taking the club back, okay?
Be sure to check out our YouTube channel for more instructional videos.